Good evening, everyone. I'm Scott Meek, the principal at Northrop Junior High, and on behalf of the District 28 staff and these soon-to-be graduates, we'd like to welcome you to tonight's graduation ceremony. Please stand and join our Student Council Exec Board for the Pledge of Allegiance. We ask that you please remain standing as our concert choir sings the Star-Spangled Banner.
Graduates, please be seated. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the graduation for the Northbrook Junior High School class of 2018. Thank you for being here with us this evening. We've in the last week experienced a whole school year's worth of weather, leading us up to a beautiful, sunny summer day. Hope you got wonderful pictures on the way in and afterwards when your students have their diplomas. I'm Tracy Small. I'm the president of the Board of Education, and it's my pleasure to introduce the other members of our Board of Education, seated in the front row. School Board Vice President Tony Forchetti, Carol Curry, Jennifer Gallinson, Lou Gross, Michael Gilmore, and Michelle Kohler. In addition to recognizing my fellow board members, I want to take a moment to recognize the winners of this year's Homer O. Harvey Scholarship Awards. Dr. Homer O. Harvey was our district superintendent from 1961 through 1988. Many credit Dr. Harvey with creating the culture and commitment to excellence in education that have made District 28 one of the best school districts in the country. When Dr. Harvey retired in 1988, the school board and PTO established a scholarship fund in his honor. The Homer O. Harvey Scholarship is given annually to seniors in high school here at GBN who graduated from Northbrook Junior High. Since 1989, the scholarship award has been given to 342 seniors, totaling $306,500. The names of the honorees will be engraved on a plaque of all scholarship winners as a permanent recognition of their achievement. This plaque is located in the Homer O. Harvey Community Room at the school district's administrative offices at Northrop Junior High. It's my pleasure to announce this year's winners. Please stand as your name is called. I'd like to ask the audience to please hold the applause until all the names have been read. Our scholarship winners are Samantha Carcello, Audrey Cook, Jacob Denenberg, Anna Dischinger, Keena Dew, Elena Eubanks, Ellen Gilbert, Maggie Lee, Ellie Linforth, Hope Mailing, Lindsay Masterman, Reed Norley, and Kelly Pearson. Please congratulate them. It's now my pleasure to introduce the Superintendent of School District 28, Dr. Larry Hewitt.
Thank you, Tracy. Good evening, and it's my privilege to be here with all of you tonight as we celebrate with the class of 2018. Our graduates had many special teachers and staff members who helped them along their journey through elementary school and and junior high school. If you are a current or former District 28 staff member, please stand and be recognized. We have some additional people who deserve our special thanks. I know you'll agree with me that these individuals are all very, very special people and precious to us. Now I ask all of the grandparents and great-grandparents to please stand or wave so that we can show our appreciation. It's customary for the graduates to receive some advice before continuing on their education in high school, and it's my privilege to address them tonight, and I hope you'll listen in. Good evening, graduates. Opposite is a very interesting word. Opposite is easy enough to identify. It's having a position on the other side of something. We might say that two things are polar opposites. If two items or concepts are opposites, then they're conflicting or antithetical, contradictory, or divergent. We all know some very well-known opposites. Now, if you all will indulge me in a little audience participation, graduates, you too, I'm going to give you a word and then you shout out the opposite. You can do this, I know. The opposite of cat is... The opposite of awake is sleep. The opposite of north is south. The opposite of apple is interesting. Some of you may have been thinking of technology, and you might have said PC, or you might have said Microsoft. If you were thinking fruit, you were thinking banana or probably orange. Trying to compare apples and oranges, right? Not too bad. All right, let's see if we can get back on track here. Just a couple more. The opposite of hot is cold. The opposite of wet is dry. And finally, the opposite of pandiculation is no? Well, I had to throw in something that was probably impossible for anyone to know. Opposites, however, are interesting and helpful because they allow us to compare things. They help us to better describe something. Graduates, I know that when you were in 7th grade, you read a book authored by Elie Wiesel called Night. It was published around 1960. For those of you in the audience who are not familiar with Night, it's a short read about Mr. Wiesel's memories of living in two Nazi concentration camps, Auschwitz and Buchenwald, in 1944 and 1945. It's worth your time to read. Mr. Wiesel spoke profoundly about opposites. He wrote, "The opposite of love is not hate. It's indifference. The opposite of art is not ugliness. It's indifference. The opposite of faith is not heresy. It's indifference. And the opposite of life is not death. It's indifference." There's an important message for us in these powerful words. Indifference means, of course, lack of interest or lack of concern, lack of enthusiasm. If indifference had a motto, it would be, "I don't care." We can be indifferent to the question, at which restaurant do you want to eat tonight? I don't care. That kind of indifference has no negative impact on you personally or on those around you. But there are other things that if we are indifferent to, that becomes detrimental to us and detrimental to those around us. Let's take the concept of bullying. When I was a kid in school and someone was being picked on, we weren't explicitly taught what to do as bystanders. It seemed that the adults tried to work it out between the two kids. Today, however, you're taught skills to use as bystanders to help the situation. We know that to be indifferent to bullying is detrimental to the individual being picked on, but also is detrimental to you and your peers. Your community is a creation of the daily interactions you have with others. And to be indifferent to bullying makes your community less than what it otherwise could be. To live a life that is not ruled by indifference requires that you have a purpose beyond yourself. As I was thinking about these concepts of indifference, purpose, and meaning, I was reminded of another book I read many years ago titled Man's Search for Meaning by another Holocaust survivor, Viktor Frankl. He wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how. Those who have a why or a purpose to live can bear almost any how or can bear almost any situation they're in, even the direst." He was saying that there is life-giving power in human beings having a purpose. It's not only the antidote to indifference, but purpose creates passion and energy within us. If you're thinking, "I have no idea what my purpose is right now," don't worry, that's okay. Purpose is rarely known at your age. It is discovered or sometimes revealed over time as we live life and become more grown up. My advice to you as you continue on your journey to adulthood is be open, be curious, and be engaged. Be open, curious, and engaged with your family, your friends, your teachers, your high school courses, your community, your world. In so doing, along the way, you will experience little glimpses of some possible purposes that will align with who you are becoming. A couple of those may bloom into bigger purposes in your life, ones that energize your heart, mind, and spirit. I want to draw a quick distinction between passions and purpose. In my mind, a passion is something you love to do. It's music, sports, acting, painting, cooking, exploring how electronics or technology work, or 1,000 other things. Our passions bring us happiness. We enjoy doing them. Purpose, however, deals more with values and beliefs. It's who you are and how you live your life. Purpose focuses on deeper questions. Who do I want to become? How do I want to interact with others? How do I want to impact others? So when a passion you have intersects with your values and beliefs, then that's something to explore in greater depth. Do you remember the words of Mr. Weissel that I opened with? The opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. The opposite of art is not ugliness, it's indifference. The opposite of faith is not heresy, it's indifference. And the opposite of life is not death, it's indifference. As you experience life and gain wisdom, greater purpose is grounded in continually becoming a better version of yourself and having a positive impact on others. You may find purpose in creating technology apps that help people do aspects of their life easier. You may find purpose in the medical field, aiding others who experience sickness or injury. You may find purpose in helping the poor and marginalized of society. You may find purpose in your faith and your relationship to God and sharing that with others. You may find purpose in designing safer cars or airplanes, growing healthy food, arguing for justice in the courts, or fighting fires to save people's homes and businesses. You may find purpose in selling health insurance so that if someone gets sick, they're not wiped out financially. When you connect your purpose and your passion to people, they benefit and you benefit. The result is a healthier community for everyone. So I leave you with this. The opposite of indifference is purpose. As your life's journey continues, may each of you discover your unique purpose, and in doing so, live a life of relevance and significance so that those around you will be blessed simply because of the incredible person you've become. On behalf of the Board of Education and the district faculty and staff, it's been our pleasure to see you learn and grow into the young men and women that you are today. I wish you all the very best in high school and beyond. Thank you. We will now experience the beautiful voices of the Northrop Junior High School Concert Choir under the direction of Anka Aptin and accompanied by Mike Gilbert. So they're going to be tearing apart the risers, so if you hear some noises, don't worry. They're just doing their job. The world's first service club, Rotary, was formed in 1905 right here in Chicago. It was founded by an attorney, Paul Harris. The Rotary name comes from the early practice of rotating meetings among the members' offices. From its humble beginnings, Rotary has grown into an international organization of 1.2 million business and professional and retired men and women, united worldwide in more than 200 countries. It provides humanitarian service, encourages high ethical standards in all vocations, and helps build goodwill and peace. There are 33,000 Rotary clubs throughout the world. I'm a proud member of the Rotary Club of Northrop. The award given tonight by the Northrop Club is linked directly to our motto, which is service above self. The Rotary Club of Northbrook was chartered in 1965, and one of the founding members was former District 28 Superintendent Dr. Homer O. Harvey. Our local club has over 75 members. Within our area, we support Special Gifts Theater, Center for Enriched Living, Youth Services of Glenview, Northbrook, Center on Deafness, the Northbrook Historical Society, the Northfield Township Food Pantry, the Cancer Wellness Center, Total Link to Community, the Hunger Resource Network, and many others. At the international level, we support, among others, a portable X-ray machine project in Guatemala, Shelter Box USA, and we partner with the Gates Foundation on the eradication of polio. We're also strong supporters of Glenbrook North programs, including the Student Interact Club and Grad Night, and we provide vocational scholarships to GBN graduates. Tonight, we're here recognizing the spirit of volunteerism in all of our graduates, and for one graduate who was selected by peers for extraordinary work. We have a plaque, and the winner's name will also be engraved on a permanent plaque at Northbrook Junior High School. In addition, the Rotary Club of Northbrook will donate $100 to the recipient's favorite charity. This year's Northbrook Rotary Service Volunteer Service Award winner is Marissa Lambert. Now, NBJH Principal Scott Meek and Assistant Director for Student Services Heather Schultz have some other awards to hand out.
Good evening. Dr. Meek and I have the pleasure of presenting the American Legion Award to students from District 28, graduating class of 2018. One of the American Legion's guiding pillars is children and youth. Because of this strong commitment to kids, this non-for-profit organization annually commits valuable resources through various programs and scholarships. Each year, Northbrook Junior High partners with our local chapter of the American Legion to award graduating 8th grade students. The individuals are students who place an emphasis on the development of 6 qualities: courage, honor, leadership, patriotism, scholarship, and service. This is one of the highest honors awarded to American youth by the American Legion organization. It is with great confidence that we present tonight's nominees as students who exemplify these qualities and are believed to be worthy of such an honor. District 28 and the American Legion are quite confident that wherever they go, whatever they do, the winners will always be guided by the highest ideals.
Tonight we recognize 12 students who were nominated by their teachers. Audience, please hold your applause until all the students' names have been read. Would the following students please stand and remain standing? Tonight's nominees are Michael Abrams, Kyle Burke, Abby Burnham, Henry Burnson, Claire Chang, Caden Deutsch, Sari Goldberg, Tacey Guest, Joanna Goosis, Elle Harris, Marissa Lambert, and Sam Safar. Congratulations to all 12 students. Thank you, students. You may now be seated. At this time, we would like to announce the 2 students who are receiving honorable mention for the American Legion Award. Would this year's honorable mention recipients please come forward to receive your certificates and medallions? They are Caden Deutsch and Sam Safar. Finally, it's our pleasure to ask our 2 Distinguished Achievement recipients to come forward and accept their award. This year's American Legion Award winners from Northrop Junior High are Abby Burnham and Marissa Lambert. Congratulations again to all of our nominees. We will now hear reflections from the class of 2018. Our first speaker is Kelly Henriksen.
Ready or not? Good evening, family, friends, teachers, staff, and most importantly, graduates. I guess you could say it's a long story on how we all got up here today in our royal blue gowns. How about we start at the beginning of our experiences at District 28? Kindergarten. As kindergartners, our schedules were filled with playing outside, learning the alphabet, and trading our snacks of Jell-O for Oreo cookies. Some might even argue that these were the best years of our lives. Then we all slid into the first grade. Stuff started to get real. We learned to read and write. Then we continued to jolt through second grade and then on to third and fourth grade with math and writing actual stories. Before we knew it, our 5th grade year was over. Then, ready or not, it was time for us all to go to junior high. And as we stood in the front of this new school, proud to be in our NBJH t-shirts, scared about how big the school was, or so we thought, and about how grown up we thought we were. Some things just seemed so easy until we actually stepped in the building. First day, and we were standing in the hallway with trappers that were too big to carry, and sure we knew what we were doing. We convinced ourselves that this was going to be the best year ever. Then we'd trip in the hall, forget our locker combos, walk into the wrong class, and have to change for PE. All on that same day. But we began to meet new friends and things looked up. We felt sure the next 3 years at Northrop Junior High would be great. 7th grade went just as fast as it came, with tests almost every week and homework every night. Who knew? Nobody ever said middle school would be easy, but they did say it'd be fun, and 7th grade had its fun moments. Then, 8th grade. We were shocked to find ourselves excited for high school as early as last December, yet there was a lot of work to do in classes that the excitement of high school was never far from our thoughts. We were lucky because 8th grade was filled with fun field trips and that constant reminder of, you're gonna need to know how to do this for high school next year. Don't worry, we haven't forgotten. Ready or not, it's now time for high school. We know that GBN is an amazing school, clubs and activities everywhere we look. But GBN is just a building. The teachers and students make it a school. High school is like an all-you-can-eat buffet. There are so many different choices for everyone. Though you might have to take a couple trips before you find the perfect meal, you will eventually walk away satisfied. I know we might be nervous for next year, but just take a moment to look around you. The person next to you is probably just as nervous and insecure as you. There is no time to be worried about the future. We must stay in the moment and live for today. So throw out your clocks and calendars and live right here, right now. I'm here now to tell you to savor the days to come and not to let them slip away from you. High school is what you make of it, so make this the best 4 years of your life. Try new things and be different from everyone around you. Because this is high school. This is the real deal. It's going to be hard, but we're all in this together. So don't show up to school without a pencil. Try smiling and maybe the occasional hello to someone you don't know. As we celebrate these last 8 years, look at what we've accomplished. From playing outside and eating Jell-O and Oreos to being ready for the next big adventure in high school. School might not be your favorite thing, but we'd all be lost without it. Remember, it's the journey, not the destination. So fellow graduates, ready or not GBN, here we come. Our next speaker will be Claire Chang.
Reaching new horizons. Being in middle school is like training to be an astronaut. We are not yet trusted with the rockets, but that's why we're here, trying to learn to conquer the fears that we have. Starting as young trainees, staring at the commanders, too shy to speak, the amount of new was overwhelming. But we picked up one another, helped each other from the ground, said, "It's all right, you can try again." After a year, we became cadets, and the training was harder. The people in our groups interchanged, intermixed, but we always had someone who had our back, and the ones who talked behind it. Our trainers were kind and supportive, making sure that we would be prepared for the days to come, the months that would end with us lifting off. But when it finally came, leaving NBJH loomed above us like a full moon, overwhelming to look at, to think about leaving the ground, the place that had been ours, our 3-year home that would soon belong to others, the classrooms that were ours and would soon belong to others, the lockers, the hallways, the teachers. Soon, there will be fresh faces wandering those halls, new voices talking to those teachers, new people in those classrooms. But we will be in a new place too, starting a new journey while ending one as well. And you will watch and but we'll be in new halls, having new teachers and lockers, starting a mission while ending one as well. And with hesitant excitement, we will all step forward, board the rocket, secure the harnesses, and take a moment to breathe. 3, 2, 1, blast off. Thank you.
We will now award the diplomas.
Charlie Raymond Gross. Madison Margaret Steele. Gabriel Alec Lyons. Caroline Jenna Sullivan. Stephen Thomas Cruz. Ava Grace Baniak. Charlie August Schultz. Sophia Ann Jukovich. Joshua Paul Matthew. Murphy Alexander Mulvihill. Peter Wojcinski. Ari David Earl. Connor Joseph Dixon. Carmine Christopher McLovis. Davis Dwight Fulling. Aiden Jack Gonzalez. Hayden Walter Kristen. Michael William Del Genio. Edward Babajan Polician. James Robert Flood II. Carl Jonathan Gustin. Zachary Dean Thompson. Samuel Matthew Safar. Grant Nelson Kosla. Jacob Adam Engel. Naya Lynette Robinson. Camilla Emma Nowak. Andrew Jane Shen. Dylan Garrity Grinko. Shay Max Gruber. Daniel Joseph Kim. Jonathan Samuel Hanna. Theodore James Metellus. Thomas Robert Corfield. David Michael Sherman. Nicholas Zoltan Elmore. Max Elbert Morris. Justin J. Hume. Andrew Joseph Smith. Amal Dev Sayala. Maddie Bryce Pfeiffer. Sarah Brett Erickson. Patrick Coyle Herbst. Lily Elizabeth Swobida. Lev Vainberg Mochan. Joanna Denise Guzis. Emmett Rush Buchanan. Audrey Margaret Lazar. Luke Ryan Greenfield. Tacey Carolyn Guest. Ben Jordan Weiss. Tyler Jefferson Nelson. Marie Chloe Tubal. Gabriel Giuseppe Griffith. Gabriella Elizabeth Ethan. Timothy Lee Kelly. Cassidy Swan Johnston. Leighton Elliott Green. Brooke Kylie Waltenberg. Eleanor Ann Stern. Claudia Fox Hirsch. Gretchen Sarah Parker. Kate Elizabeth Poole. Emily Maya Chalem. Kyle David McDonald.
Jenna Lee Cieslak. Peyton Thomas Reynolds. Daniel Minque Reed. Sophia Bella Freeman. Caitlin Claudia Pearson. Nellie Lechnicki. Bennett David Randall. Huda Abir Muhammad. Will John Greenwood. Peyton Nayoung Yoon. Benjamin Aaron Earl. Audrey Alice Goschild. Emma Tiana Ugarkovich. Chang Wu Yu. Eli Logan Stern. Ian Patrick Burns. Blake Browning Chapman. Juan Carlos Pasacoma. Kate Mary Rasson. Dylan Anderson Wayne. Daniela Leah Scheckman. Alexander Davidson Link. Alexi Daniel Mileshko. Paul Wyszynski. Ilana Beth Zimmerman. Sebastian Kroll Jr. Vladimir Daniel Vilichek. Sophia Madison Cohn. Vanya Michael Zadovich. Mason Chung. Yun Ko. Sarah Ann Stevens. Asher Cole Daniel. Skylar Danielle Corey. Michael Jacob Abrams. Anthony Anton Sherpovsky. Rebecca Ashley Peterkevich. Catherine Fionn Gibby. Jonah Alexander Prober. Julia Elizabeth Bain. Ashley Elizabeth Wozniak. Lillian Kathleen Welch. Samuel Thomas Lopez. Maeve Parks Kinney. Brenda Ye Won Kim. Abigail Eugene Park. Bae Young Yu. Julia Olive Smith. Alexandra Adele Harris. Laurel Elizabeth Speed. Nicholas Brian Junk. Caroline Julia Cooper. Alexander Jaden Kim. Nash Arthur Johnson. Abigail Lee Burnham. Haley Catherine Lawrence. Kat Elizabeth Kinney. Zulun Lu. Sean Joseph Coughlin. Courtney Claire Grenier. Elizabeth Ann Marino. Madeline Sophia Zerlin. Jane Farwell Luddington. Natalia Eva Zvaznos. Molly Gwen Erickson. Isabella Angelina Booty. Rylan Sloan Roy. Amelia Doboro. Sue Kim. Lauren Frances Stinchcomb. Angela Zane. Allison Petra Lau. John Peter Kusiba. Alexis Marie Cuffle. Louis Theodore Klein. Alexander Lloyd Garcia. Kevin William Matthew. Shay Dawson Nenado.
Yeah, you want that flower? Yeah!
Margaret Isabel Porta. Foster John Seifert. Sarah Yolanda Goldberg.
Yes, sir, sir.
Lindsay Shea Cohn. Sohan Krishna Bellam. Abigail Elizabeth Rich. Anne Marie Young. Kyle William Burke. Joseph Camden Bitter. Lifu Zhang. Henry Oliver Burnson. Connie J. Kim. Samuel Joshua Slater. William Patrick Kramer. Tyler Robert Carroll. Nicole Ava Actera. Eleanor Christine Henriksen. Carolyn Elizabeth Downey. Annabelle Eleanor Kiefer. Thomas Charles Van Treep. Grace Ellen Dorothy O'Kern. Joseph Daniel McDevitt. Daniel Faith Himmel. Brady Robert Rasson. Santiago Antonio Duarte. Lillian Aaron Dink. Marissa Lee Lambert. Christina Katsamakis. Quinn Richard Clark. When you're done, Kelsey Lindell Lungard.
Yeah, Kelsey!
Sean Lee. Chloe Marie Claire Higginbotham. Caroline Grace Dulkey. Julia Nicole Nitch. Kaizen Luke Orshowski. Ari Shane Harkavy.
Good job, Ari!
Matt Lakavishish. Daniel Ashroth. Hunter Hughes Abood.
You're out of the gym! Oh, yeah!
Claire Shenyo Chang. Edward Joseph Klein. Kelly Marie Henriksen. Preston Bryce Federoco. Kira Linnea Schaefer. Kate Houston Wilson. Timothy Martin Miller. Ryan M. Ravine. Caden Bradley Deutsch. Abigail Haley Sommerfeld. Jordan Phoebe Schwartz. Maxwell Noah Glovinger. Alina Liliana Villasil. Ana Saxena Delgadillo. Helena Ray Tinker. Danielle Emily Tatch. Carlin Amelia Rogers. Bailey Ruth Onyx. Anna Bernadine Lampin. Danielle Rose Cooper. Samantha Rose Kaminsky. Alexa Corinne Whitehead. Olivia Ann Tinker. Sarah Ann Baser. Philip Can-hee Lee.
This is your final good evening. I want to thank you again for joining us tonight for this very special event. I'm truly honored to be able to share some final thoughts with this class of 2018. And I've felt equally blessed to be able to work with these young men and women on a daily basis for the past 3 years. That's not to say it's always been an easy road we've traveled, but it certainly has been a rewarding endeavor. I think Tracy had alluded to the weather recently, and I agree that the spring has been interesting to say the least. An unusually chilly April followed by an extremely wet May. And ever since, it seems we've vacillated between mid-July type heat and some cool fall-like days. But because of these drastic temperature swings, it made me think about the parallels between nature, gardening in particular, and our field of education. You see, we too experience our dormant times, but we always know the growing season is right around the corner. These 210 flowers you see up here sitting behind me, who right now are probably wondering what the heck I'm doing with this speech. They started out as seedlings many, many years ago. They were planted with love and care by you some 14 years ago in your very own garden. Now, some of you may have green thumbs in your DNA, and others of you were praying early on that you'd just be able to keep your flower healthy and upright. But the hugs and the kisses, the bedtime stories, the board games, an occasional little Einstein CD, all of it provided the nourishment to spur that tiny little flower to life. And at some point, you bravely turned some of the gardening over to the school system. You likely wondered if the teachers would provide enough water and sunlight for your flower to grow. And slowly but surely, year after year, that flower did continue to grow. There were some cold winters and dry seasons, but these flowers are perennials. They come back each year, stronger, hardier, and standing a bit more upright. Each year brought new leaves, new colors, and a different set of flowers surrounding them in their garden. Now, these last few years in the NBJH garden, I'm sure there were times when you had some doubts about your precious flower. You may have had some thoughts creep into your head like, what the heck happened to the sunny days? Are these storm clouds ever going to leave? Is this flower ever going to make it on its own? And maybe, just perhaps maybe, you thought this gardening stuff really is for the birds. Well, I'm here to tell you that this year is one heck of a garden, and these are some truly beautiful flowers. Some who like the sun, and those who prefer shade. Some are still buds, others have grown into shoots. But each one is definitely unique and holds a special place all its own. A few months ago, several staff members and I participated in a book study. It was about wintertime. The book is titled From Striving to Thriving. It's written by Stephanie Harvey and Annie Ward. Ironically, the cover has a little offshoot springing to life from a bed of fertile soil. Early on in the text was a quote from Smokey Daniels, a well-known teacher, author, and consultant in the field. A quote that really resonated with me. He was referring to students developing solid reading skills when he said, "They don't all bloom on our watch." At first, it was a bit perplexing. If the flowers aren't blooming, then are we saying that all the hard work and countless hours in the garden that you and we have spent is all for naught? Of course not. It simply means that some flowers just need a little more time or different experiences before they peak. It means the tireless work teachers and students put into third grade end up paying off in fourth and fifth. And the time spent watering and weeding in sixth and seventh grade helped produce the flowers we have today. And what we're truly excited about is just how elegant these flowers will look when they do finally bloom. Not to say we haven't already witnessed some impressive growth these past few years. In their brief time at NBJH, this class of 2018 has already demonstrated excellence in myriad ways. At science fairs, geography bees, and quiz bowl competitions, in novel writing and art displays, in music performances, and basketball championships. Collectively, this group has shown time and again that they have the capability to rise to the level of expectations placed in front of them. They've raised thousands of dollars for 3 different charity of choice organizations, created public service announcements for nonprofits, and served as mentors for younger students. Through these efforts and all their accomplishments, they've helped create a garden of which the District 28 family can be extremely proud. So I say this to all of our flowers. Wow us with your splendor. Inspire us with your grit and determination. Reassure us with your desire to stand out like no other. Your growing season has only just begun. You have the ability to reach heights that are unimaginable. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to be your gardeners these past few years. We didn't mind getting our hands dirty. We shrugged off the blazing heat and the bitter cold. We waited patiently each year for your return. All because we just couldn't wait to see you in full bloom. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Thank you for your contributions to the District 28 community. You will surely be missed, but certainly never forgotten. And please, stop back and visit in the future. To our audience, please join us for a reception in the cafeteria immediately following the ceremony. Also, please keep the walkways clear as our graduates process out of the auditorium. And for one final time, I present to you the Northrop Junior High graduating class of 2000.